Monday, kiç eskini.
My father was born in 1922 on Otoe, Missouri land in Oklahoma. His mother was Lena Arkakita. Her Otoe name was Etunwanchigeme. He was raised by Tom Hardico, or Suje, who married Grandma when my father was just a child. They were all Otoes, or WWII. Today, their old home lays under Sooner Lake. My father was one of the Chilocco boys who went into World War II together. At the age of 15 or 16, he hitchhiked to Chilocco to get into school there. That eventually led to his enlistment in 1939, though he was underaged. He was in Company C, which operated from September 9, 1939 to July 2nd, 1945. The story of the 180th Infantry Regiment describes some of his war experience. The Sicilian campaign began June 8, 1943. He departed on June 4th from Virginia. These ships transported the troops. On June 21st, the African coast near Tangier was visible. On July 6th, news came that the mission of the division would be participation in an invasion of Sicily. Over there, he witnessed many events. For instance, he saw a dead soldier sit up. In June 1944, a swimming incident involved helping to rescue another sergeant. His date of separation from service was July 2nd, 1945, at the Separation Center, Camp Chaffee, Arkansas. For military service, he received the Bronze and Silver Stars. When he came back from war, he was 22 years old. His mother cried with happiness when he returned. For a while, he became a hard-drinking young man, as often happens after war. A couple of years later, he legally married my mother, who was about 20 years old at the time. As a young man heading off to war, he was given the Otoe name. No bullet can pierce him. Who gave him that name? I never asked, but it would have been a Bear Clan member of the Otoe people. My dad descended from Iron Man, also called Greystone, and Bear Cumming, born about 1848. There are several written versions of his names, but only one person used all of them. Ellen was Iron Man's wife. One of their sons, Charles or Charlie, was Dad's father. My father didn't ever say too much about his biological father. His paternal grandfather, Iron Man, wanted to raise my father. When Dad was about 6 years old, Grandma and Grandpa took him to Iron Man's home to live there. They rode up there in a wagon. Inside the house, they visited briefly and left my father there. Grandma and Grandpa climbed into the wagon and started home. They didn't go very far down the road when they saw my dad waiting for them. Later, in Dad's 70s, early life at Otoe and wartime were heavy on his mind.
Hey, look which one I got. Look what I got.
Here, Elizabeth, go choose a pretty color that you like. Glue some flowers on it.
He then told what happened to him during those times. He died in 1998. He's buried at the Otoe, Missouri Cemetery. As a child, I knew him to be a letter writer and an exciting storyteller. In his later years, whenever he wrote to me, he always signed his letters "The Old Soldier." He was also a spiritual and a God-fearing man. As a boy, his family thought he might be WWII, a visionary person in the old Otoe style. That took a turn when he became a minister for several years. He came back to WWII before he died. Dad's life teaching was that a good man should not abandon his offspring. His other teaching was that a great power sets all life into motion. In the ancient Otoe thinking, the Bear Clan are soldiers. My father did have those bear motto qualities of force and ferocity. That's the true story of no bullet can pierce him.
Monday, kiç eskini.